Pleasant View Ridge Cemetery. I'm out here just east of Longmont, just west of Firestone. This old cemetery, Pleasant View Ridge. And the old school is actually down here. I might take a walk over there and show you what the school looks like. It's amongst those trees there. It was the second school. The first school was torn down, I guess. It was wood, but the second school is brick. And it was created by this Pleasant Ridge community was created by J.W. Ward. So the original school was called the Ward School. But here I am at Pleasant View Ridge Cemetery. And I just wanted to come and look at some of these graves here. This old 1844 Silas Robinson, 1844 to 1903. It's cool. So this little community was Pleasant View Ridge, and it was created in 1880 by J.W. Ward. That's the first school was named after him. Had a church, had a cemetery, had a general store, had a blacksmith shop, had a weekly column in the Longmont Ledger. It was a newspaper, I think it was published from 1879 to around 1946. Castle, here's the castle. Infant Castle, died September 1904. Eva Castle died December 12, 1904, age 10 years old. Here's Eva Castle, and I have a story on Eva. If I can read it, I need my glasses. But anyway, she was just on she had a house over here somewhere, maybe over here, but she was taking a ride on a horse one day, and I don't know where her parents were. They probably just back in those days, they just let your kids do their own thing. Back in those days, when you're 10 years old, you kind of do your own thing. And so she was riding her horse, and they found her 100 yards from her house. She had been dragged in the stirrups, so she kind of fell off the horses, and she was dragged in the stirrups for a few hundred yards, and she was found unconscious but never did regain consciousness. So very traumatic incident. A 10-year-old little girl died. She was the daughter of C.E. Castle. Yeah, and then this little community, it's kind of a beautiful area. There's an old farmhouse there. I'm sure that old farmhouse is pretty old. Kind of a beautiful area. It's kind of in a little valley. I think it's Left Hand Canyon. Creek flows somewhere near here. Left Hand Canyon up in the mountains comes from Indian Peaks Wilderness. I spent so many years when I was a young man hiking up in the Indian Peaks Wilderness. I went up Left Hand Canyon. Here's Mary Ann Burns, wife of S.W. Burns, 1867 to 1909. She was only 42 years old. Some of these people died of typhoid fever, unfortunately. And here's an old green ash tree. It's doing pretty well. Here's another ash tree. He's doing pretty well too. Kind of stressed from the drought though. Colorado has been having an amazing drought this year. Let's go look at a few more of these graves. Emma Atherton, 1861 to 1894. So a lot of these graves, in this Pleasant View Ridge Cemetery. A lot of them were moved to Longmont, Mountain View Cemetery. Some of them were kept here, like these are kept here, but some were actually moved to Longmont when the town went defunct. The town went defunct, I don't know, probably in the 20s, 30s. Edgar Coe, 1879 to 1893. 13 years old. Kind of beautiful that they keep these old cemeteries intact. Respect for the dead. Ella Meeks, wife of F.J. Meeks, 1865 to 1898. And then Anna, 1892 to 1893, so that was just a baby of hers. So there must be graves here. There's some kind of foundation around here. There's a beautiful house over here. I remember there's one story where a guy, he lived over by the cemetery, and they had an outhouse, and he never wanted to come to the outhouse at night because it was right next to the cemetery. So I bet you it was a house around here. Father Abel Withy, 1833 to 1916. Yeah, there's a lot of these defunct little towns here in Colorado. Myrtle Glazier and George Glazier, 1904 to 1906. That she only lived 2 years, 1894 to 1899. And then there's Minnie. She died, she was a stillborn, 1903 to 1903, September 23rd. And here's the interesting, I tried to find history on this lady, Hoyt, Sarah Hoyt. I wonder if she's related to those people that established Hoyt, Colorado, which I have a video on that cemetery. Sarah Hoyt, 1828 to 1905. It's a cool name, Buster. Wife of W.L. Buster, 49 years, 1896. Robinson, I think I already saw this one. Maybe not. Alright, let's go take a look. Take a short walk over here. I don't see any other headstones. I think they moved a lot into Longmont. Like I said, this little community had its own little newspaper column in the Ledger, Longmont Ledger, back in the early 1900s. Boy, it's a hot day here in Colorado. September, you would think by September things would start cooling down, but nope. And there's also Highway 66 is right down here, and there's an other old town, that defunct town, Liberty Hall. The old school is still there too. I think it's used by somebody else now. I don't know if it's a residence or what, but this old school is used as a residence now. So I don't want to go on premises. I don't want to bother those people. Looks like somebody plowed into this sign. Colorado residents, these transplants are kind of crazy drivers. So this is the old Pleasant Valley school. It was the second school, and it's brick, but it's a home now, which is kind of cool. I would like to have a house that was once an old school. Beautiful property. Yeah, it says Joint District number 45, erected 1899. Pleasant Valley Ridge. Beautiful architecture on this. Those double doors are gorgeous. I don't want to... Beautiful. Looks like sandstone stairs. Beautiful house. Hello. You have a beautiful house. I said you have a very beautiful house. It was an old school, right?
From 1899, it was the only one-room integrated school in Colorado.
Wow. And this was an old little community, right? Pleasant
View Ridge.
Pleasant View Ridge.
Things that remain besides the schoolhouse is the cemetery.
Yeah, I was just over at the cemetery.
Yeah. I put the fence up and the sign, I don't know.
Wow, you did that?
15 years ago.
You did that?
Yeah.
Thank you.
Not to keep people out, but to define
Yeah,
the space. So
I
people
appreciate
would
that.
acknowledge it.
We need that type of history still.
Well, Weld County doesn't have a historic society.
Yeah.
Boulder does.
Yeah.
And so this is registered with the
Is it?
Boulder County Historic Society
Wow.
as a landmark. It was pretty important in our state back in
Oh yeah,
1899.
yeah. And so you can't make any modifications to this house, right?
Well,
Because it's a historical
right. We wouldn't do anything without
Yeah.
their guidance and leadership.
Oh, okay.
The brick itself is everything original. We had to put a new roof on it.
Oh, did you?
Yeah, it was quite pricey.
Wow.
The property in the back was added on in the 50s and in the 70s. It doesn't have the same historic merit, but it's been done to not distract from the original one-room school.
Oh, that's cool. Yeah. The original one, is it back there or is it torn down?
No, this is it.
Oh,
You
I
go
thought there
in,
was like
it's
a wooden
150.
structure at first.
No, that was a different school.
That was a
the
different
Ward
school, the
and
Ward
it was,
school.
It was scraped and taken down. This property was donated by the farmer if they would build a school where every child would be welcome. So we have pictures of all different ethnicities in this one-room schoolhouse. They spoke 5 languages the first year.
Did they? What were the language?
The teacher only spoke English.
Oh, really?
Yeah. She was the
So it was like German, Spanish.
Arapaho Indian. born
Arapaho
went to school
Indian.
Here and yeah.
Wow. That is cool.
So different Scandinavian groups came together, and actually the wreath was unveiled, oh gosh, maybe 35 years or 40 years ago when
Really?
they were doing some
Wow.
scraping. Underneath was the original carving. You can see that it has a Scandinavian influence.
That is
We'll be
cool.
repainting it with the historics guidance like you mentioned to make sure we do it
Sure.
the way that it should have
Yeah.
been. We painted it when we moved here to preserve it so that the
Okay.
wood wouldn't continue to deteriorate. And
Well, that brick is so beautiful.
so the brick and the foundation of the house is
Yeah.
over 2 feet deep, and it's all from local quarry.
Wow.
So when we did the repairs on the chimney, we took it down a couple of courses. It took quite a while to research and get the proper brick from the same quarries. And
Really?
lines and,
Oh, and lions.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's
So,
beautiful.
Yeah. My name is Ellen. I live here with my husband.
Cool.
And are you just a history buff?
I'm a history buff and a YouTube. Would it okay if I post you on my YouTube channel?
Oh, I look horrible.
No, you look beautiful.
Oh,
No,
no. I get rid of
you're a beautiful lady. Come on.
That's really nice. We're elderly in our 70s. I am a wedding and event designer, so I clean up pretty good for my public.
Okay.
No, I'm all right with you putting Pleasant View Ridge School.
Okay.
We're good stewards for the property. When we can't afford to be here or too old, we'll pass the baton. But we registered it so they can't scrape it or
Thank goodness.
oil and gas can't come through and
Oh,
knock it
yeah.
down.
Yeah. Well, I sure appreciate
What
you.
is your name?
My name's George Sawtooth.
George, nice to meet you.
Yeah. I do local history.
Well, here's my favorite. Hockey is coming for lunch. Oh, he already has lunch. He
Oh.
has it in his mouth.
You know, I did an abandoned house on the...
He probably came and got a mouse or something from the sheep farmer.
I was up in Hoyt and I did an abandoned house and there was a hawk and he screamed all through the video.
Oh.
He says, "What are you doing? That's my house."
Eating lunch? I don't know what you're doing. So when I pulled my car into the shed not too long ago, I was just sitting for a minute thinking, okay, get myself together. And then, there was a hawk in our canoe, and it was pulling apart a
Snake?
pigeon.
Oh, pigeon.
Feathers everywhere. But he engaged with me like, do not open that car door until I'm done. And I didn't. I was like, oh my God, because he was just ripping and roaring something.
Wow, cool.
Well, thank you for your interest.
I appreciate
in
you.
old places.
Yeah, thank you.
So Pleasant View Ridge.
Pleasant View
was
Ridge.
A pretty thriving community.
Yeah.
And then the L&L Railroad went through. Louisville Lafayette Railroad to Longmont, did like a figure 8 in the backfield.
Uh-huh.
And so the farmers and ranchers went into town. The
Yeah.
Dickinson house that, was
Yeah.
saloon, more shopping, etc. And Pleasant View Ridge kind of dwindled down to just a small agricultural
Yeah.
community. But the Saudi sisters who live in the first brick house on
They were students?
and their grandfather was the preacher at a church that was right in front of the cemetery.
Oh,
This
wow.
Reverend Saudi. And the Rasmussen is the white big farmhouse to the left of the cemetery. My good friend, and just passed away in recent years, but his family donated they actually sold it for like $30, the church plot, and then they bought back for like $300. The church charged them
Oh
to
my God.
have the water go behind the cemetery.
Wow.
So there's some really fun stories about the Pleasant View Ridge community. And
It's too bad the church isn't still there.
no, it was in pretty bad shape, and again, Weld County doesn't have the Preservation Society like
Yeah.
Boulder, so they
Yeah.
moved it to Erie some years
Oh.
back, and I don't know what remains of it, how much was salvageable,
Yeah.
but they did move it there.
That is it.
And then many people think that Pleasant View Ridge got its name from the Flatiron views, but that's not true.
Where did they get the name? So I had a short talk with a lady that lives at the old Pleasantville Ridge Church. It's a residence home now. She owns it. She lives there. She says she loves living there. Now I'm just trying to get across the roads here. People are kind of crazy drivers. A lot of traffic on this road. And my camera heated up and shut down, which is pretty annoying. Pleasant View Ridge, old little community, died down probably in the 1920s, 1930s. All these people were farmers around this little area, kind of a little valley. I think Left-Hand Canyon merges with the St. Vrain River just over here. Just want to get one last look at the cemetery here. George Sawtooth and the Great History Hunters channel. Love those guys. Don't miss a video of theirs, I tell ya. Jeff always wants to see George Sawtooth. So, hey Jeff, this is George Sawtooth. I know I'm too beautiful to look at, but you got to get over me, man. All right, God bless, man. Pleasant View Cemetery. Always keep history. You learn by history. You're honored by history. History is a treasure that we all need to delve into because it enriches your life and it gives you focus for the future. All right, this is George Sawtooth. There's the Erie, I think that's the Erie High School up there. Not the Erie High School, but the Meade High School. Yep, George Sawtooth, God bless you. Bye.